Have you ever noticed how a 5-minute conversation with certain individuals can leave you feeling utterly exhausted? You haven't done any physical labor, yet your energy is entirely depleted. Most people attempt to defend themselves by arguing back, explaining their perspective, or building massive emotional walls. However, objective behavioral psychology reveals a critical flaw in this approach. Toxic people thrive on your reaction. When you fight back, you are still playing their game. The most emotionally resilient people do not fight toxic behavior head on. Instead, they utilize a system of invisible psychological shields. Today, we are exploring 5 tiny daily habits, deeply rooted in neuroscience and behavioral research, that act as a profound defense mechanism against manipulative and emotionally draining people. These are not grand gestures. They are small, quiet actions that run in the background of your day, fundamentally altering how you process stress. Shield 1. The anchor of savoring manipulators and toxic personalities share a common tactic. They keep you off balance. They create a manufactured sense of urgency, guilt, or confusion, ensuring your nervous system is constantly reacting to their demands. To counter this, you need an internal anchor. Researchers refer to this as savoring, the deliberate act of stretching out a positive sensory moment for just 10 seconds. When you pause to truly feel the warmth of your morning coffee or the comfort of a quiet room, you are actively commanding your brain to register safety. From a neuroplasticity standpoint, you are deepening the neural pathways associated with calm. Toxic individuals lose their leverage when they can no longer dictate your internal emotional baseline. By consistently savoring small moments, you build an emotional sanctuary that a manipulator simply cannot infiltrate. Shield 2. Strategic generosity. This concept might sound counterintuitive. Why would you expend energy on kindness when someone is already draining you? The crucial distinction is that you are not giving to the toxic person. Destructive dynamics often force victims into a hyper-defensive, isolated shell, narrowing their worldview to merely surviving the interaction. By directing a small, unexpected act of kindness toward a neutral third party, like sincerely complimenting a coworker or buying coffee for a stranger, you actively shatter this psychological loop. Neurologically, altruism activates the brain's reward centers. It serves as a powerful subconscious reminder that you are not a helpless entity, trapped in a hostile environment, but an autonomous individual with positive value to share. It shifts your mindset from passive defense to active empowerment. Shield 3. The zoom out effect. A defining characteristic of narcissistic or highly dramatic individuals is their relentless need to be the center of your universe. They require their manufactured crises to feel like the most critical events in your life. The most effective countermeasure is experiencing awe. Awe is the psychological state triggered by encountering something vast that transcends your current understanding of the world, like a massive night sky, deep ocean documentary, or a profound scientific fact. Clinical studies demonstrate that awe physically diminishes our perception of our own ego and problems. When you intentionally seek out awe, the manipulator's perceived importance drastically shrinks. Their chaotic behavior suddenly feels trivial when measured against the vastness of reality. Awe is the ultimate perspective reset. Shield 4. Biological armor. We often view emotional defense as purely psychological, but it is heavily biological. Enduring manipulation chronically spikes your cortisol levels, trapping you in a perpetual fight-or-flight state. Over time, this deteriorates your cognitive resistance. Your foundational line of defense is regulating your biology, and the most objective, scientifically verified method is morning light exposure. Getting natural sunlight in your eyes within the first hour of waking physically resets your circadian rhythm. This process regulates the timing of neurotransmitters responsible for mood stability and guarantees deeper restorative sleep. A sleep-deprived brain is highly susceptible to gaslighting and emotional manipulation. By regulating your light exposure, you are quite literally forging physical armor against psychological attacks. Shield 5. Microconnections for reality testing. The ultimate weapon in a toxic person's arsenal is isolation. They systematically distort your reality, subtly convincing you that their chaotic narrative is the only one that exists. To break this illusion, psychologists recommend reality testing. In everyday life, this looks like brief, low-stakes interactions with strangers. A 10-second friendly exchange with a cashier or a neighbor might seem utterly trivial. However, to a brain under emotional duress, it is a vital lifeline. It provides a micro-hit of belonging and objective proof that the world outside of the toxic dynamic is rational, polite, and safe. These tiny, consistent social interactions anchor you to objective reality, preventing you from being fully absorbed into the manipulator's distorted web. You cannot entirely control who you encounter in life, but you maintain absolute control over the architecture of your mind. These 5 habits, savoring the present, redirecting generosity, seeking awe, anchoring your biology, and maintaining microconnections, do not require you to confront or argue with a toxic person. They are silent, internal fortifications. When practiced consistently, they transform your psychological landscape, building a fortress so resilient that toxic behavior simply cannot take root. Which of these 5 shields makes the most sense to you right now? Let me know in the comments below.